Hello, everybody. We have a lot on the docket today. New York City seems to have descended and fallen into a state of complete and all-out rebellion. Immigration is tearing this country apart, and our youth are on the wrong side of it. The first thing I want to do before we get into today's show is read gift letters that have come in packages from my Amazon wish list. So check out the Amazon wish list. It's in the description below if you'd like to help elevate and continue my content, especially my on-the-ground coverage and the Fearless Tour, the campus debates that me and my team have been doing. So I want to read these gift letters that come in the packages when I get them. Enjoy your gift. You are greatly appreciated from Sherry. I'm not reading last names because I don't want to dox anybody. Enjoy your gift from BP, our beloved moderator here on the channel. Enjoy your gift. Cheers from Sean. Thank you, Sean. Love the work you are doing. May you be blessed as you save America, from Melinda. Thank you, Melinda. We got you, man. You're doing the Lord's work. LOL from Soyum. Thank you, Soyum. Enjoy your gifts and stay safe fighting for our God-given rights and freedom, from Alicia, a.k.a. Ada. Thank you, Alicia, a.k.a. Ada. We got you, man. You're doing the Lord's work, again from Soyum. Thank you, Soyum. We've got you, man. And another one from Sayum. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. There's a couple downstairs, actually, I think I forgot to bring up. They're all from BP. I just got 2 packages, again, from BP, our amazing moderator. You all know him. You love him. So thank you, BP, and thank you, everybody else, for the packages. So New York City is descending into a state of absolute chaos and anarchy. Sarah Beckstrom, who is one of the National Guardsmen shot in Washington, D.C., about a block away from the White House, has been tragically killed. She passed away, and her family did not get to spend Thanksgiving with her. Andrew Wolf, as far as we know, is still in critical condition. He has not passed away, and hopefully he doesn't. But he remains in critical condition. That's the last word we have. Mom Donnie has called Sarah Beckstrom's death a quote-unquote passing. I'm devastated to learn of the passing of Specialist Sarah Beckstrom, a member of the West Virginia National Guard. She was only 20 years old. As families across the nation come together today to celebrate Thanksgiving, let's take a moment to think of those in West Virginia who have been plunged into unimaginable grief. The passing of Specialist Sarah Beckstrom. There was no passing. Okay, her life was tragically ripped away from her and her family by an Afghani terrorist. That's what happened. He laid in wait and ambushed 2 National Guardsmen in Washington, D.C., about a block away from the White House. 2 blocks, maybe. That's what happened. Some reports indicate that he yelled Allahu Akbar before he ambushed them, though I don't think there's confirmation of it. People are praising the shooting, just like they did with Charlie Kirk's death. Here's allegedly Dante Bastine.
Shout out to the patriot who kirked 2 federal agents near the White House. This is exactly how we need to be dealing with violent dictatorships. Shout out to the patriot who kirked 2 federal agents near the White House. This is
Kirked. Shout out to the person who kirked 2 federal agents outside of the White House. They weren't federal agents. These are National Guardsmen. West Virginia National Guardsmen. Murdered. We got another one.
Shout out to the person who rammed their car and shot at ICE agents during a raid in southwest Chicago, leading to an officer.
Shout out to the person who rammed their car and shot at ICE agents in Chicago. I want to set a sort of theme for these live streams, this show, in the future. I think there are 4 keys to our future as Americans. A, we need to pause immigration. Either most of it or all of it. We need to pause it. Our country is being invaded and taken over. We're being replaced. We need to incentivize childbearing and marriage. We need to fix our education system. And we need to ban abortion. All four of these issues are linked. They are inherently important to each other. And we will not win as a country unless we achieve these four things. How are these things linked together? Why are they all important? What do they have to do with each other? We need an American population, not a foreign population. We need more Americans. We need to get our birth rate up. Hence the incentivization of childbearing and marriage. Those children need to be smart and well educated. Hence the fixing of our education system. Our children shouldn't be indoctrinated and low information. Hence the fixing of our education system. And again, we need more babies. Hence the banning of abortion. Why incentivize marriage? Because our children need to be well taken care of, well nurtured. They need a father and a mother in the home. Pause immigration, incentivize childbearing and marriage, fix the education system, and ban abortion. These issues are all as important as each other. It is the key to fixing this country. Those four things. So thematically, remember those four keys to the future of our country as we go through the stories that we have on the docket today. Because I guarantee, and these are just the top stories of the day, by the way. So just keep those in mind and remember them as we get into these stories for today. I can't think of one that these four keys don't overlap with, intercept, or cause. Okay? There's a lot of conversation about whether or not this assassination of Sarah Beckstrom and the critical wounding of Andrew Wolf was orchestrated by the CIA. Laura Logan says, urgent, is the CIA behind the murder of 2 U.S. soldiers near the White House? I think this tweet was posted just after the governor of West Virginia had announced that both Andrew Wolf and Sarah Beckstrom were dead, but at that point neither of them were dead. They were both in critical condition. Urgent, is the CIA behind the murder of 2 U.S. soldiers near the White House? Did they direct/orchestrate this act of war? Take a close look at the gunman's ID card below. He was a member of the Kandahar Strike Force, a CIA-backed paramilitary unit. He's one of theirs, and this is the ID card. It looks legit. Kash Patel today confirmed that this guy did have ties with our military. And that makes sense. It tracks considering he came to the United States under Joe Biden's Operation Allies Welcome, where we brought in our so-called allies. And by the way, just because they were our allies over there doesn't mean they're our allies here. Just because we had a common enemy doesn't mean we're friends. Because once that common enemy is gone, your ally tends to remember how much they hate you. And that's the problem here. Do I think that this attack was CIA-backed? Absolutely not. Listen, pack it up, eHomes. This is now going all over the internet. Tons of people, they think they're digging deep. They think they're really figuring it out. You know, they're really getting to the bottom of this one. They've really figured out this guy is CIA-backed. I'll tell you what, if there was a CIA-orchestrated attack on U.S. soil, you wouldn't know about it the day it happened. The dude wouldn't be running around with his CIA badge in his pocket. Now, was this guy a member of the Kandahar Strike Force? Yes, he was. Most likely. I mean, I don't see anything refuting this. Right? That strike force was disbanded in 2021. It was a strike force specifically designated to fight in southern Afghanistan. They were a counterinsurgent force. It was a CIA-backed paramilitary counterinsurgent force. That's what it was. It's just like when we funded the Mujahideen, and then the Mujahideen broke off and became Al-Qaeda. Okay? Again, just because they were our friends over there doesn't mean they're our friends over here. Again, Al-Qaeda did 9/11. And a lot of times, just because they were our friends over there doesn't actually mean they were our friends over there. This is the most backstabby region of the world. What's interesting is the strike force, the Kandahar strike force, is comprised of the most elite members of the Afghan military, but it's not really saying much considering their military was pretty bad to begin with. If you remember, they basically just gave up when we started drawing down forces, despite the fact that they had all of our weapons, and those weapons now belong to the Taliban, of course. Trump is ending immigration from the third world, all immigration from the third world. Trump unveils, quote, reverse migration plan to halt, quote, third world immigration, revoke Biden-era entries. President Trump used a late-night Thanksgiving post on Truth Social to outline what he calls a reverse migration plan, pledging permanent halt to immigration from what he described as, quote, third world countries, and a sweeping rollback of the Biden-era admissions. Trump said his administration would pause all migration from nations he labels, quote, third world, revoke what he claims were millions of Biden-era admissions, quote, including those signed by Sleepy Joe's auto pen, and remove foreign nationals he deems public charges, security risks, or non-compatible with Western civilization. We've been talking about this for a while. There are a lot of people that come out of the third world that are not compatible with Western civilization. Charlie Kirk was calling it out. One specific group, Islam. Islam is not compatible with Western civilization. Let's pull it up. Islam is not compatible with Western civilization. Charlie Kirk called this out in June of this year. And it wasn't the first time he talked about this. Islam is the sword that the left is using to slit the throat of America, September 8th. Just 2 days before he died. This is what he tweeted. Islam is the sword the left is using to slit the throat of America. We're going to throw a retweet on that. It's not a secret. Tom Homan says that deportation forces will triple in January. Let's take a look.
Even if you keep going at the pace you're going at, that's a dent in the illegal alien population. People would deport, who are deportable aliens right now. So what do you say to those people who say, this is great, but it's nowhere near enough?
Then come put a badge and gun on and give us a hand. ICE is hiring record numbers. Bottom line is, I just said just about 650,000 deportations. That is several 100,000 more than the record that was back in 2012. So it was already a historic operation. Second of all, you got to consider the people who have left the country out of fear of being deported. Was over 1.6 million of them. So there's well over 2.2 million left the country already. And that's been a part of the plan from the beginning. We knew if we send over 1,000 ICE teams out across the country, we send a message to the whole world. You enter this country illegally, we're looking for you. And by sending that message, by having anything, ICE is one of the reasons we have the most secure border in the history of the nation right now, because people aren't coming because they know there's consequences. So between the record number of deportations, the record number of self-deports, we're already had an historic deportation operation. But hold on tight. We're hiring 10,000 more. That's going to be on duty by mid-January. That's tripling the size of enforcement removal operations. So if you think the numbers are historic now, wait till next year.
So there we have it. Obviously, ICE mobilizations are strong all throughout the United States, but they're going to get even stronger come January because the ICE force, or the deportation force, will triple, according to Tom Homan, who is, of course, the border czar for the United States government. A woman attempted, and here's your 4 keys, by the way. Your immigration and your education, it's both. A woman attempted to get assistance from five Walmart employees. None spoke English. Not even one. And this isn't a rare experience. As you guys know, I've been traveling the country for the Fearless Tour. I've been all over the United States. And it seems that no matter where I go, whether I'm in the deep south or up north, whether I'm in the Midwest or in a flyover state, it's difficult to find Walmart employees that don't speak English, or that do speak English. It's difficult. So let's watch this video. She went to 5 Walmart employees in one Walmart. Couldn't find somebody to give her assistance because nobody spoke the primary language of this country.
Walmart. You the third person that don't speak English in Walmart. Who can help me that actually speaks English? He speak what? You said amigo. He speak Spanish too?
Yes.
No, I need English.
I speak English.
I need English. So you work here. Can you go get me someone that speaks English?
I speak English.
I know that. But go get somebody that speaks English. You still have to assist the customer. Go get somebody that speaks English. Come on. Come on. Let's go get English. English. Vámonos. English. Vámonos. I know it. Look, she work here. I need English. You the third person that don't speak English. I need English. Who speak English? Huh? Oh my God. No, for real, ma'am. You the third person I done stopped for help that don't speak English. Can you go get somebody that speak English?
No.
Who else speak it?
No.
No. I don't think she said nigga, she don't understand what I'm saying. Where he at? How you say big? I was gonna say how you say black in Spanish. She still the Negro people. No, for real, like, and she think it's funny. Oh wait, how you doing? Do you speak English? Oh my God. Oh my Lord, excuse me, how you doing? Do you speak English?
No, mommy, but
oh my Lord, you the 5th person that speaks Spanish. I'm trying to find a junk charms. No, you're okay. I'm just appalled.
No problem, mommy, no problem. Please, no problem.
Walmart, y'all got me, my ancestors, Thanksgiving, Christmas, everything. Y'all got everything because.
Now, what's ironic is this vest that they wear. This is at every Walmart all across the country. They wear these new vests. On the back it says happy to help. And what's funny is I actually made a joke about this to Andrew on the Fearless Tour, where I said they're happy to help, but the problem is they can't help because they don't understand what we're saying. And somebody actually recorded it and made a video about it. They're sure happy to help, minus the majority of the population. I shouldn't need to speak fluent English in my country to navigate. Or sorry, I shouldn't need to speak fluent Spanish in my country to navigate. I should be able to walk up to an employee at Walmart and say, "Hi, where can I find the Cheez-Its?" And they can competently, in the English language, tell me where I can find the Cheez-Its. But this is not the case. For a lot of Walmarts all across the country, their employees speak exclusively Spanish or some other language that is not English. It's ridiculous. I'm sure. Let's get a poll in chat. How many of you have run into this issue at a Walmart? Let's get an I in chat if you've run into this issue at a Walmart. It is ridiculous. Absolutely insane. And by the way, here we go. Here's one of your keys, immigration, right here. We need to pause immigration. And we've talked about this on this show before. We've talked about the inability to speak the English language. They come here for jobs. Again, here's one of those instances where you cannot operate in this country without speaking English. How can you be expected to do this job if you can't speak the primary language of this country? We talked about it. I said, like, How can you drive a car if you don't speak English in America? You can't read the road signs. You can't read the buttons on your car. You can't read the signs anywhere else. How can you work a job? You can't work customer service. Apparently you can. Apparently they'll still hire you to not do your job as a customer service worker with happy to help on, printed on your back, despite the fact that you can't help because you don't speak the primary language of the country. I see a lot of eyes in chat. Ilan Omar says there's a lot of hate for immigrants in the United States. Let's watch.
Nancy Mace is targeting you as much as she is.
It's an easy clickbait. There is a lot of hate in this country for Muslims. There's a lot of hate in this country for black people, especially black women. And there's a lot of hate, severe hate for immigrants. And so I fit them all.
I don't think there's a lot of hate in this country for immigrants. Our president is an immigrant. He's a second-generation immigrant. His wife is a first-generation immigrant. Melania Trump was not born here, nor was she born to American citizens. She was naturalized. His first wife, Ivana, was a first-generation immigrant. She wasn't from here. All of Trump's children, except Tiffany, are second-generation immigrants. All of them. Barron, Don Jr., Eric, Ivanka. Just Tiffany. She's the only one who's not. Born to Marla Maples, who's not an immigrant. Even Tiffany is third generation. And Trump won the popular vote. I don't think there's a lot of hate for immigrants in this country. Now, there might be some. But what we see in this country is an issue with immigration. There is always a point in a country's existence where immigration is very important. It's vital in a lot of cases to the development of a country. When they are under development, when they are a developing country, it's important to bring a lot of people over to work. We're not a developing country. We are the most developed country on the face of this planet. The most. We are the most developed country on the face of this planet. There reaches a point in a country's history where the immigration isn't necessary anymore, and not only is it not necessary, it becomes a detriment. It becomes a detriment to the fabric of the country because you end up with a lot of groups that sect themselves off and live in little enclaves, and they hate all the other groups, and they have issues with all the other groups, in groups and out groups. You want to minimize that as much as possible to maintain a stable country. And in a lot of cases, you have groups coming to the country and bringing their culture over here. And sometimes their culture is things like scamming people, like, for example, with Miss Omar's community here, who are notorious for putting credit card skimmers in gas stations, committing fraud on mass levels. The police in Minneapolis and Minnesota who have dealt with this issue among the Somali population talk about how Somali gangs don't really deal in narcotics. They don't spend a lot of time selling, producing, or smuggling narcotics. Instead, they run fraud and scam rings, which is definitely not something we want in this country. It's not a hate for immigration. It's a practical understanding that immigration can be a detriment, especially illegal immigration. The net fiscal drain of illegal immigrants in this country is $68,000 per person, according to the House Committee on Budget and their study in conjunction with the Center for Immigration Studies. But legal immigration is also a problem. As we saw, for example, with Operation Allies Welcome, where we brought over 80,000 Muslims from Afghanistan who were either our quote-unquote allies, like, for example, Mr. Lakenwall, who just tried to murder 2 National Guardsmen and succeeded on 1. And also people who were in Afghanistan when the Taliban took over that were of urgent humanitarian risk. We brought them over too. Republicans are allegedly filing a bill, according to Mario Newfall, that will start imprisoning judges who keep releasing violent repeat offenders. Think DeCarlos Brown, the man who killed Irina Zarutska, who had a violent criminal history of attacking 2 separate women in 2 separate years. He literally had a violent history of attacking women. Multiples. Or, like, for example, Lawrence Reed, who just lit this girl on fire on the Chicago Blue Line train. He had a long criminal history. He had 72 prior arrests, 15 convictions, 8 of them felonies. He had just been arrested and was facing charges for going to a hospital and beating a man over the head. He was literally under electronic monitoring. He had an ankle monitor. He wasn't under house arrest. He was allowed to leave. What's up with that? He was given pretrial release. He had a curfew, which he broke every night leading up to the attack, where he lit that young lady on fire on the Chicago Blue Line train. This bill is simple and brutal. Any judge who releases a defendant on, quote, personal recognizance or low bail, and that defendant commits another felony within 12 months, faces automatic federal charges, up to 10 years in prison and permanent disbarment. They even attached a public database, every soft-on-crime judge's name, photo, and recidivism rap sheet posted online so victims' families can see exactly who let their loved ones killer walk free 3 times before the murder. Sponsored by the same GOP hardliners who watched Darrell Brooks plow through Christmas parade after a $1,000 bail, and Waukesha's judge still has a robe. Democrats are screaming attack on judicial independence, but independence doesn't mean impunity when your compassion leaves bodies in the streets. I 100% agree. And what's going to get interesting here is there are a lot of places, like Chicago, for example, the state of Illinois, has no cash bail. And judges are legally obligated, they are obliged to prefer probation, and they have to release people pre-trial unless the prosecutor can prove that this person is a danger to society, which is an almost impossible bar. How do you definitively prove that somebody is a danger to society? You can't predict their future actions. And thus, it's not even always the judge's fault. Now, a lot of times it is, but not always. In places like this, where the judicial reform and the criminal justice reform, or really it's deform, have given the judges no other option for legal recourse but to release these people pre-trial. It's sad, it's disgusting, and it's getting people killed. There was an Afghan national, another one, who was suggesting that he was building a bomb to target Fort Worth. Let's read. An Afghan national was arrested after posting a video of himself on TikTok indicating that he was making a bomb with the intention of targeting the Fort Worth area, according to the Department of Homeland Security. According to an expert who spoke to Fox 4 on Saturday, the incident could have been much bigger for national implications for immigrants. North Texas Afghan national arrest Muhammad Dawood Alokoze was booked into the Tarrant County Jail on Tuesday on charges of making a terroristic threat. According to DHS, Alokoze came into the United States as part of Operation Allies Welcome under the Biden administration. He was admitted into the U.S. as a lawful permanent resident on September 7, 2022. So, what do you know? This guy who's threatening to bomb Dallas-Fort Worth also was brought to the United States under Operation Allies Welcome, which is, again, the same program that Lakenwall, the guy who just shot up the National Guard, same program he was brought in on. Again, I cannot stress this enough. Just because they were our friends over there does not mean they were our friends over here. And in fact, just because they were our friends over there does not mean they were actually our friends over there. Again, the Mujahideen splintered off into Al-Qaeda, did 9/11. cannot be trusted. But for some reason, after the Biden administration's already disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, we brought in 80,000 people on military cargo planes, unvetted, into the United States. And you can't vet these people enough, by the way. Again, this guy, Lakenwall, the guy who killed Sarah Beckstrom and injured Andrew Wolf, now in critical condition, the two National Guardsmen, was literally on the Kandahar Strike Force, which was a U.S.-sanctioned paramilitary force that fought in southern Afghanistan and pushed back against ISIS, the Taliban, and Al-Qaeda. That was their purpose. They were members of the Afghanistan military, elite members that were pulled out and put in this strike force, and we used them. They were our allies, right? They were already our allies. We already vetted them to get into that strike force. But again, once the common enemy that you have disappears, your ally tends to remember how much they hate you. We had a common enemy. ISIS, Al-Qaeda, the Taliban. We were fighting those common enemies together, hand in hand. Think Halo 3. Okay? You're in High Trinity. You're fighting through waves of the Covenant, and the Flood show up. And the Flood help you fight through the waves of the Covenant. Remember, you get the big, what are they called? Like raw forms of the Flood. They're giant. They're helping you. You know, they come to you. We're going to help you. We're going to help you. They fight through High Charity with you. The Covenant super base. And then when you finally reach the Prophet, what happens? The Flood turn on you. Right? They've achieved their goal. Now they turn on you. Just remember, High Charity, not High Trinity, I know. I love this analogy. Thank you so much. Finish this fight. Okay. So, what's interesting is the inmate details reflect that this Afghan terrorist was white. See this? White. Now, take a look at this guy. That doesn't scream white to me. In fact, he's from Afghanistan. He's not white. And the reason that his booking likely indicated, or his inmate details indicated that he was white, was because the arresting agency booked him as white. Allegedly. Must read. Tarrant County has booked Mohammed Dawood Al-Qozay as white. Al-Qozay is an Afghan national who was smuggled into the United States by the Biden regime. He is currently accused of posting a TikTok video in which he appeared to be constructing a bomb with the Fort Worth area as the apparent target. I am reaching out to Tarrant County for comment. Why? Why is he classified as white? Why was he booked as white? He's not white. Here's a clipping of a live stream that Mr. Al-Qozay was involved in. Watch the Arabic to English captions in the bottom of the screen right here.
سری هر کس افغان چی مشکل داشته باشه سری او انتیاری میکنم هیچ مشکل نیست در کجا است آدرس در کجا است یک دقیقه ما که
So he's saying, where is your address? I will commit suicide on anyone who has a problem with Afghans. I will commit suicide on. I assume that doesn't mean he's going to walk up and, shoot himself in front of you. I assume that also means you're going bye-bye. I'm going to commit suicide here, he says. And you're going to kill the infidels. I'm going to kill the infidels, he says. Now, keep in mind, this is allegedly. I don't speak Arabic. I'm kind of relying on the captions here. This is from Benny Johnson. Eric Daughtry reposted it. So I'm trusting Benny here. These captions are accurate.
سریتانم میکنم سری کاپیرتانم میکنم
And I'm going to kill anyone who opposes the Afghans. This is the guy that they classified as white and arrested for making a bomb and targeting Dallas-Fort Worth. He's a taxi driver. Just remember that the next time you get in a taxi.
پاسپورتوار بام گفتی در داخل موتر جرم میکنم همین نشانه باشه صبر یک دقیقه برادر گفتی که انتحاری را در موتر جرم میکنی یاد خواهر بله جرم میکنم ها
He's building a bomb in his taxi.
در کجا جرم میکنی در موتر جرم میکنم اینه بامش از کجا میخری برای چقدر کشتی یک کس کا
جوان در تکساس کالاسی اینجا خواهنداری خدا نمیکنی.
You don't have to be ashamed here in Texas.
میکنم اگه دلم شما میکنم آقا در کی انتحاری میکنی سری تو انتحاری میکنم سری کاپیرام انتحاری میکنم سری هر کس انتحاری میکنم
Disgusting. He's just talking about how many people he wants to kill. He's building a bomb out of his taxi. He's going to bomb Dallas-Fort Worth. Apparently he posted a video of him building the bomb. We got this tweet yesterday. I found this in the wild. Do you care if Afghans are living in fear in America? I actually have a solution to this problem, but you're not going to like it. My solution to Afghans living in fear in America is don't live in fear in America. Go live in Afghanistan. Go home. Now, if your fear of living in America is less than your fear of living in Afghanistan, maybe you should keep your mouth shut. Stop complaining. Or go live in fear there. I don't really care. Whatever you're doing, just don't do it here. I really could care less. Okay? Robert O'Neill, who, if I'm not mistaken, is the man who killed Osama bin Laden, posted an analogy on Truth Social, and Donald Trump quoted it. Or I guess, yeah, he posted it on Twitter, and then Trump posted it on Truth Social. He says, if you've ever been to Afghanistan, you wouldn't understand. If you've never been to Afghanistan, you wouldn't understand. Let's run that back. If you've never been to Afghanistan, you wouldn't understand. If you showed these people an espresso machine and gave them free coffee, they would assume you were a witch and chop your head off. But let's bring them in. Donald J. Trump posts this on Truth Social. And then, of course, you have Brian Krasenstein, who says, breaking! Trump is a racist. Major cities like Kabul, Herat, Mazar-e-Sharif, and Kandahar have coffee shops, Wi-Fi, smartphones, and cars, and modern appliances. Afghanistan has shopping malls with electronic stores selling appliances far more advanced than an espresso machine. Many Afghans use Nespresso machines, smartphones, and other modern consumer electronics daily. Most people who have lived in Afghanistan, aid workers, journalists, U.S. personnel, etc., describe Afghans as warm, curious, friendly, tech familiar, and not prone to attacking you over a coffee maker. Doubt it. I think probably I'm going to listen to Robert O'Neill, the Afghanistan and Iraq deployed veteran who killed Osama bin Laden, over Brian Krasenstein, who's probably never been to Afghanistan. I think I'm going to take the word of the guy who killed bin Laden. That's just my 2 cents. Just saying. We've got a student visa holder whose grandfather is a jihadi warlord who was celebrating the death of the 2 National Guardsmen who were killed in Washington, D.C. Drew Pavlo says, this guy's grandfather is an Afghan warlord who declared jihad on the United States and offered bounties on American soldiers. Obaidullah got a student visa under Biden, and he's now celebrating the execution of a National Guard soldier. Here he is right here. Mr. Bahir. It's sad to see Afghans running to re-kiss the overlord's ring and apologize for the attack in D.C. Have some pride and stop caring for those who would blame you for the action of one individual. The people they trained to kill us ended up hurting them. Not our circus, not our monkeys. Okay, then get out. Go home. Go back to Afghanistan. You don't belong here. If it's not your circus, not your monkeys, hey, get the fuck out. If 2 of our soldiers being murdered in the streets of our capital, 1 block away from the White House, by the people that share your heritage, is not your circus, not your monkeys, get the fuck out of my country. Get the fuck out. Not your circus, not your monkey. You don't belong in my schools. My taxpayer dollars pay for your schooling. Get out. We've got Death to America chants in Dearborn, Michigan. And again, I'm going to be relying on
this is why he would say to
the captions here. A lot of it's in English, but I believe the chants are in Arabic, so I'll be relying on the captions here that they're correct. Memory TV, from what I understand, is usually pretty accurate. So allegedly, this is what he's saying.
And this is why Imam Khomeini, who declared the International Day of Quds, this is why he would say to pour all of your chants and all of your shouts upon the head of America.
The whole crowd, Dearborn, Michigan.
Malcolm X said, and I quote, "We live in one of the rottenest countries that has ever existed on this earth. It's not Genocide Joe that has to go. It's the entire system that has to go. Any system that would allow such atrocities and such devilry to happen and would support it, such a system does not deserve to exist on God's earth."
So the United States doesn't deserve to exist on God's earth. Now, I believe that this video was from when Joe Biden was still president, because he's talking about, quote unquote, Genocide Joe. So I assume it's a little bit older of a video. But these people are coming here, they're shouting death to America, and their goal is to outproduce us. And when I say outproduce us, I mean in terms of babies. Because, of course, Dearborn is investing in public spaces, infrastructure, safety, and the mothers of infants. Dearborn Mayor Abdullah Hammoud touched on accomplishments during the past 3 years of his administration during the State of the City address on Tuesday, also detailing initiatives he plans to pursue, such as installing heightened traffic measures throughout the city and creating programs for kids. That's what we're calling it, programs for kids. I don't know why this won't... Wait, why won't that let me read the rest of this? I'm not... All right, we'll just... Hold up. 1 second, guys. Paywalls are so annoying. Let's see if we can read it from the Detroit Free Press. Oh, they have a stupid paywall as well. Really? I just read this article the other day. Anyway, what the mayor of Dearborn is doing, since we can't get... Oh, here we go. We got it right here from CBS. New program offers $4,500 for expectant mothers in Dearborn. They are trying to outbreed us. Dearborn, Michigan. Mothers welcoming a baby will soon receive $4,500 over a 6-month period thanks to the expansion of a program that started in Flint. Mayor Abdullah Hammoud announced the program during the State of the City address on Tuesday. Around 1,700 babies are born in Dearborn every year, according to experts. Families struggle the most financially during the maternal infant period. Babies are really expensive. It's estimated an additional $20,000 just in that first year of life. Said Hannah, blah, blah, blah. I want to find what the mayor said. Because he said something along the lines of, hey, we're not just good at producing cars here in Dearborn. We're very good at producing babies. And he talked about that 1,700 babies per year figure. They are trying to outbreed us. By the way, 4 keys. What did I say? Pause immigration, incentivize childbearing and marriage, fix our education, and ban abortion. Those are the keys to our future. The Muslims have got it figured out, except for them, it's a plan of attack. Produce more babies and outbreed the American population. We need to incentivize our people, Americans, I'm not saying white people, I'm just saying our people, American citizens. We need to incentivize childbearing. We need to fix our education system so we have smart, well taken care of children that are highly educated and more of them. in less of people from other countries. Because we've seen how that's working out. It's not working out well. Here's an alleged Illinois student, again from memory, calling America a cancer.
America is the cancer. America, the American government, secularism, democracy, capitalism, these are cancers that have spread their illness all over the world. In America and in the Middle East. In America over here, people have the freedom to, again, like I said before, commit zina, do os fahisha, but when you speak up, it's a problem. Non-Muslims are tired of this cancer. They're tired of the American government. They're tired of democracy. They want to see a new way of life. And as Muslims, we have to understand that we have that new way of life. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent as a...
Again, this is the education problem. He's highlighting the exact issue right here. Here's your key. Non-Muslims living in America are fed up with democracy. They're tired of the way things are going. They need a new way of life. We have a new way of life for them. And it's called Sharia law.
Mercy for all of mankind. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. He was sent as a mercy. Why? Because the way of life he brought will bring that mercy. The way of life he brought will bring that tranquility to Muslims and non-Muslims. Non-Muslims won't have to worry about these issues they worry about now. They won't have to, because Islam is a just religion that has come to be implemented upon...
I mean, I'm telling you this is the problem. A major Muslim influencer in the UK says, don't call yourself British, Canadian, or American. You are a Muslim. Your loyalty lies with Islam, not with any country. Let's take a look.
You're Muslim first. Say I'm British first. You're not British. You're Muslim first. That's your identity. Does that make sense? So many people, they say, oh, where are you from? Or brother, what are you? No, me, I'm British. Me, I'm Canadian. Subhanallah. As if Canadian is going to help you when you go in your grave. Or I am American. Or I'm Somali. Or I am Afghani. No, you are Muslim. That's who you are. Allah says in the Quran, Ya ayyuhan nas, inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha. Oh, you people, we created you from a male and a female. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا. We created you from different nations and tribes. For what reason? So you may know one another. إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. The one who is the most closest to Allah or the most virtuous in the eyes of Allah Azza wa Jal is the person of a taqwa.
I'm not even going to comment on it. I'll let you draw your conclusions about that. Now on for the main event. New York City is in a state of rebellion right now. Leftist rioters in New York City targeted the ICE facility in Chinatown and blocked them from doing their job. That's how it started, at least. Let's take a look.
ICE out of New York! ICE out of New York!
Not a terribly big crowd.
ICE out of New York! ICE out of New York!
Certainly not the craziest thing we've seen on this channel.
Out of New York! Out of New York! ICE out of New York!
Sorry.
ICE out of New York!
The light's tough over here, but...
ICE out of New York! ICE out of New York!
All right. Let's see what it devolved into, okay? Because rioters then began throwing trash in the road just in front of the ICE facility to block federal agents. By the way, a crime. But it got worse. And it continued to get worse. And snowball, and snowball, and snowball. And by the way, Mamdani hasn't even taken office yet. He's not the mayor of New York City. Imagine when he is. Because agents were trapped inside of this ICE facility for hours, unable to leave. As these protesters stood outside and blocked them. but they're allowed to just obstruct ICE operations seemingly with impunity until the crowd grew, that is, at least. Here they are, feeling free to just fight with NYPD officers. Openly. No shame. They hit that guy in the face. Like, pull them in. Arrest them. Look at all these agents and officers back here. Just rip them in and throw them behind you. And it didn't stop there. You thought that was crazy? It wasn't. Okay? NYPD ended up having to use mace to clear the way for federal agents. I mean, that's a lot of mace. That doesn't feel good. But apparently it's not enough because this person got maced in the face and then still had the wherewithal to flip off the NYPD officer. If he was macing well, that person wouldn't have been able to do that. Look at that. Mace him. They're putting these planters in the streets. By the way, somebody else's property. These planters belong to a business. Or to the city. Here they are, putting more. Making it nearly impossible for federal agents to operate in New York City. Now I'm going to show you a scene of absolute anarchy and rebellion. It's what it is. It's an insurrection, but nobody will call it that. The headlines in the tabloids should be calling this an insurrection. Watch this, and watch how organized it is. This footage, by the way, comes from Alia Scootercaster, so major shout out to her. And watch how these NYPD officers are about to just give up. Oh, now who's in front of the cop car? It's not the police keeping the protesters away from the car. Now it's a protester. Putting his hand on the bumper. He's gonna get run over. Oh, and here comes NYPD. Hey, here's an idea. Rip him out and arrest him. Are you kidding me? Arrest him. Hit him with a billy club. Something. Hello, Officer Genius, right behind you. Do you have eyeballs? Right behind you. Look at this. It's the same people. It's the same guy that was doing it earlier. Arrest him. Put him in cuffs. Take him to jail. He's gonna get run over. And by the way, the streets of New York City never look like this. This is Lower Manhattan. The streets of New York City never look like this. This is impeding not only just ICE, but the entire city. Because this ICE agent has to be able to dodge and weave all over the street to not hit this guy. But if he does get hit, despite the fact that the agent is actively trying to get away from him, is actively dodging around the street, of course the ICE agent would get blamed. Here you've got another moron up front. Oh, they're speeding up too. They said hell nah. We have more agents trying to leave the facility. You don't see a lot of action like this in New York City, so this is surprising. And again, Mamdani has not even taken office yet. And I also, again, I'd like to shout out Alia Scootercaster with freedomnews.tv. This is her footage. Arrest. How are we not putting people in cuffs? They have all these zip ties on their hips. I haven't seen a single person putting them yet. How? I mean, we've seen like felony level offenses committed. And again, Mamdani's not even mayor yet. Look at that! Arrest! I'm throwing her in the back of the van. That is a federal offense. What you're doing? These are federal police cars. Throw her in the back of the van. Put her in zip ties and throw her in the back. She's now committed a federal crime. Take her to federal jail. Look at that. She's back. That's the same gal. That is the same woman. She just runs off from the side. Watch. It's the same woman. Banging on the window. Open it up and put her inside. Take her to jail. I mean, if the NYPD is already this babyish, imagine what is going to happen come January. Arrest. It's the same woman. Look right here. It's the same woman in the burgundy pink coat. Take her to jail. All you're doing when you fail to arrest people like this, when you fail to use appropriate force, all you're doing is telling them that it's okay to do what they're doing. They operate off of learned behavior. They're like children. All you're doing is teaching them that they can continue to do what they're doing, committing federal felony level offenses with impunity, without any recourse, without any punishment, without any consequences. And they take that and the gears in their head start turning, the smoke rolls out, and they say, I can get away with anything. And then they continue to do whatever it is they feel like doing. I mean, look at this woman. She's actively fighting with NYPD officers. Look at her. Same woman in that coat. She is actively fighting, or I don't even know what it is, to be honest. It looks like a woman. Actively fighting with NYPD officers. Arrest her. She's now committed battery on an NYPD officer. And here they are throwing trash in the road again to impede the officers. Look at this. Hey, sir, I don't know, behind you? And here they go, throwing the planters in the streets again. I mean, look at this. And why are they doing this? Because they know they can get away with it. Normalize when they jump in front of your car and impede the traffic and start banging on your hood and pose reasonable threat to you. Run them over. I guarantee they're not going to do it again. I promise you, once one person gets run over because they're actively menacing, threatening, and impeding federal agents, I guarantee the rest of them won't do it again. At least not for the rest of the day. Yeah, or maybe arrest one or two of them. Or maybe a dozen, or a couple dozen, or 100 of them. Yeah, where are the pepper ball guns? Arrest him. Like, I have never seen a police force that is more okay with people breaking their ranks. Normally, if you break ranks like this, like if you try to go between two police officers forcefully, you're getting arrested. You're going to jail in these situations. Do this to the Chicago State Police, you're going to jail. And it's going to be a bumpy ride to jail. And by that I mean it's going to be a bumpy ride from standing on your feet on your way down to the ground. Here we go, more stuff getting thrown on the road. And this looks like people parking their cars in the street so that the feds can't move. They're actively attempting to block the agents with their vehicles. Look, same person, remember her? It's the same woman. Take her to jail. She belongs in prison. No arrest, just a little push. I mean, that woman has done that at least 20 times. And that's assault on an NYPD officer. Jail. Arrest them. And also, why are there so few NYPD officers? There should be a hell of a lot more. There should be a hell of a lot more. I assume Cam wasn't around in the 2020 riots, haha. I've seen plenty of riots. Now, was I on the ground in 2020? No, I wasn't on the ground in 2020. I was monitoring it very closely by watching everybody else's live streams every night, like every minute of them, and streaming them live to Twitch. But I wasn't physically on the ground. I was on the ground for the LA riots. I was on the ground for I've been continuously on the ground for the Portland riots, Seattle riots. I've been on the ground for a ton of riots. I've been to war zones. I understand that this is typically how it goes. That doesn't mean it's not a problem. It's still a problem. Yeah, I understand this is typically how it happens. It doesn't matter. This doesn't change anything. There is an issue here. One of my biggest questions right now, why are there not more NYPD officers on the ground? Walk around New York City. There are NYPD officers everywhere. Where the hell are they? I see 2 or 3 officers. Where are the rest of them? You've got like 300 people actively attacking a federal convoy of DHS vehicles. Where are the NYPD officers? Let's see. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 NYPD officers. Where are the rest of them? Are these NYPD? Yeah, they are. I mean, this is a straight up insurrection. We got 5 cops, and they're all stumbling over each other. Where is the rest of the NYPD? Again, in New York City, there is NYPD officers everywhere. Where are they? And again, Mamdani hasn't even taken office yet. This is pretty rare for New York City. I mean, you don't really see stuff like this in New York City a lot, right? It wouldn't be rare in like Chicago, Portland, Seattle, LA. There are a lot of Philadelphia. There are a lot of places where this isn't like commonplace, but you wouldn't be surprised if you saw it. I'm actually surprised that we're seeing this in New York City. They protest a lot in New York City, but there's not usually like, it's not like this usually. I mean, what is this OC spray he has? It's like this big. Move to the sidewalk. Come on, get something bigger. I never see them when I'm here. You never see NYPD officers in Manhattan. I see NYPD officers in Manhattan all the time. I see NYPD cars everywhere. I see officers walking down the street all over the place. There's the same woman. Look at her. The same woman. This is the same woman. Tase them or something. There needs to be a lot more mace deployed at this point. Metalsmith Oz sent a $5 super chat and said it's not mace, it's bubble. So true. I mean, this is just horrific, guys. I do not understand how this is possible. In other news, there is a saloon in Idaho that is offering free beer for 1 month to anyone who helps identify ICE and ultimately deport an illegal from Idaho. Alert from Old State Saloon. Anyone who helps ICE identify and ultimately deport an illegal alien from Idaho gets free beer for 1 month at Old State Saloon. I think it's time to pack my things and head to Idaho and get to work. If there's one thing I could use for a month, it's definitely free beer. There's also a new ICE ad out, or reportedly a new ICE ad out, according to Kim USA. Kim Katie USA. Let's take a look at it.
Then close your eyes and tap your heels together 3 times and think to yourself, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
The CBP Home app is your chance to leave voluntarily if you're in the country illegally. Use it now, or you will be found and deported with 0 chance of returning. So a lot of people say, oh, it's just so, the way they're going about this, the way that ICE, this is the number one thing I hear on the Fearless Tour when I'm debating with people. You know, I agree with border laws, and I think we should enforce those border laws. My main thing is I just don't agree with the way they're doing it. It's too brutal and inhumane. Well, the Trump administration is actually offering $1,000 per person that self-deports. And they're saying if you self-deport now, there's a chance you can come back. But if we find you and we deport you and you don't self-deport yourself, there is zero chance you will ever come back to this country. I think it's incredibly humane. In fact, I think it's too humane. I don't think we should be giving people $1,000 self-deport. I mean, it's a great incentive. And it actually, it makes sense. It actually makes sense because it's definitely cheaper to pay somebody $1,000 to self-deport than it is to spend the necessary resources to actually deport them. So, I think it's amazing. Inhumane my ass. Absolutely not inhumane. Protesters in New York City also stormed stores on Black Friday yesterday. As if Black Friday isn't annoying and chaotic enough, here we have this.
They fund the genocide! Hey, out the store! Out the store! Out the store! Come on.
And this... Do not shop at Zara.
Zara is a genocidal company!
Zara is a genocidal company. Here's the face of Zara as a genocidal company. Right here. How is Zara a genocidal company? Ma'am, they make clothes. Like, can we just be for real? You're a genocidal company. 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 Google's a genocidal company. I guarantee you didn't change your search engine to DuckDuckGo. Guarantee it's still Google. It's virtue signaling. It's not actually about ending genocide or fighting back against genocide. It's about virtue signaling just enough that it's not a personal inconvenience. You know how many pro-Palestine protests I've been in and embedded in and undercover in where they're like actively eating Dunkin' Donuts, one of the biggest brands that they're reportedly protesting because they're a genocidal company. In fact, I just can't even keep track of all the companies that are genocidal. Okay? If I see a company, I just assume it's genocidal. And I also don't care. I also do not care at all. In fact, there's probably not very many things that I care less about. I'm still going to use Google. I'm still going to use Microsoft. I'm still going to use Apple. I'm still going to use everything that I was using before and continue not giving a shit. That's what I'm going to be doing. So, we don't care. We do not care. Here's a New York City pro-Palestine protester wearing a mock suicide vest. He's literally wearing a fake suicide vest. This is a pro-Palestine protester dressed up like a terrorist. And he's like actively menacing people. Insane. Absolutely insane. When is it going to end, guys? When is it going to end? Here are dozens of American flags lit on fire in the streets of Philadelphia. I believe this is right outside of the City Hall, reported by A.L. Jacoby. Outside of City Hall in Philadelphia, masked pro-Palestinian Islamists light dozens of American flags on fire, abhorrent. Catch the irony, guys. They're flying foreign flags. The flags, of course, of a proto-state in the Gaza Strip, which is run by an Islamic terrorist organization, literally called the Islamic Resistance Group, That's what they refer to themselves as in their charter, of course, which in Article 7 says the day of judgment will not come about until the Muslims fight the Jews, killing the Jews. When the Jews hide behind stones and trees, the stones and trees will say, "O Muslims, O Abdullah, there's a Jew behind me, come and kill him." They're waving those flags while burning our flags, the American flags, on the streets of our country. That's what's happening here. Let's check it out. I just recited a passage from the Hamas charter. Let's look it up. This is translated by Yale through the Avalon Project. This is the Covenant of the Islamic Resistance Movement, aka the Hamas Charter of 1988. Here it is here if you can't read it. So let's just search stones. Here we go. We got it right here, Article 7 of the Hamas Charter. We've got it right here. The day of judgment will not come about until the Muslims fight the Jews, killing the Jews. When the Jews hide behind stones and trees, the stones and trees will say, "O Muslims, O Abdullah, there's a Jew behind me, come and kill him." Only the Garknad tree, evidently a certain kind of tree, would not do this because it is one of the trees of the Jews. This is from this book, actually. It's a hadith from Sahih al-Bukhari, which is a Muslim book of hadiths, which are generally, it's similar to the Gospels. It's stories about Muhammad and his life and his teachings, in the words of his followers. And that's from this book. Written in the Hamas Charter because it is an integral part of their religion and government. Here's the German police. Actually, we want to actually pull back on that real quick. Here's Palestine protesters storming the opening night of the Christmas market in Brussels. It's happening all over the world, guys. Now, I want you to ask yourself, why might it be the Christmas market that they're storming? I'll just let you sit on that for a second, and we'll get into the next story, which is the German police fighting an Antifa mob. I think the United States needs to take notes and learn a lesson from this video. I mean, look at it. He's just going bang, bang, bang. Spraying mace everywhere? Hell yeah. Where was that in New York City? That's what New York City should have looked like. I mean, watch this guy in the middle right here. Now, they do have a couple officers go down right here, which isn't good. But watch this guy. I mean, watch his arm right there. He's about to cock back and just start punching. This one right here. Bang. 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 We needed some of that in New York City today. Where was that? We needed it. Bad. Somalians are beginning to self-deport, or at least some are advocating that they should self-deport and go back to Somalia and quote-unquote rebuild it. So we've got here from Right Angle News Network. Breaking, Somalians are now promising to leave Western countries due to the intense backlash they are facing. The West does not want us here anymore. I'm leaving. We're going to go rebuild our country. This, of course, is coming on the heels of Trump ending temporary protective status for Somalians in Minnesota. Let's watch.
Roads lead to Mogadishu, Somalia. I've booked my flight. By the end of this year, I'm moving to Somalia full time, bro. The West does not want us here anymore, so it's cool, we're cutting. You man are saying all roads lead to Rome. I'm saying all roads lead to Somalia, bro. I'm gonna start up a new life there. I don't know who I'm gonna meet. I might meet some criminals on the run, but that's live. I'm trying to meet some drill rappers. I'm trying to meet a few people out there. I'm not only gonna be going to Mogadishu. Obviously, the whole country is non-extradition treaty, innit? Even though I can't, like, why am I saying that? Because I'm not even a criminal.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask that. Why are you saying that? Why is one of the points of you moving to Somalia that it's a non-extradition country. You say you're not a criminal. Are you planning on committing crimes before you go start your new life in Somalia? Why was that a relevant point? Is that what they're teaching you?
But bro, do you get what I'm saying? I'm tired of London. I'm tired of Northwest London. I'm tired of this whole city, bro. All roads lead to Rome. Bar now, all roads are leading to Mogadishu, Somalia,
yes,
bro.
Yes,
I'm
goodbye.
Leaving. I'm
yes.
gone.
Okay, bye.
Muslim country.
Bye, please go.
We're gonna
Thank
rebuild
you.
our country from the ground up, and I'm.
Now I understand he's in the UK, but hey, whatever. Still, leave. Bye. See ya. Japan says no to building Muslim cemeteries. Check this out.
承知してるかどうか聞いてるんじゃないんです。これね、でもちろんですね、適法に
So, let's talk about what this allegedly says. Tommy Robinson tweeted this video and says, Japan says no to building Muslim cemeteries in the country. Quote, the Muslim request for cemeteries is denied. In Japan, cremation is the tradition. The appropriate approach for Muslims is to return the remains to their own countries and bury them there. We should take a note out of Japan's book. Oregon, the state of Oregon, is suing Donald Trump because illegals aren't going to be eligible for SNAP benefits, or non-citizens aren't going to be eligible for SNAP benefits.
It's wild and absolutely stupid that we have to be here today, a day before Thanksgiving. We're one of the most wealthy countries in the world, and no one should go hungry in America. When this came out, I think a lot of us were thinking this has to be a mistake. These are lawful residents. The law is incredibly clear. Why would the USDA be yanking food benefits away from people? Because we actually genuinely thought this could be a mistake. A letter was sent earlier this month. No response was received. And that's why the lawsuit is being filed here today. It's that simple. If you're an asylum seeker, if you're here as a refugee, if you're here as a lawful resident, if you're here in the United States because of a...
Let me finish that sentence. If you're here as an asylum seeker, if you're here as a refugee, turn around and go back. Turn around and go back. How about that?
Humanitarian purpose, we should never yank people's food benefits away under these circumstances.
You're right, I have a better solution. Don't yank their food benefits. Yank them out of the country.
Expect, just like in our other suits, to be incredibly successful. Proud to be a lead in this lawsuit being filed in Eugene. The hope is that we'll have a preliminary injunction filed a little bit later today so that we can get in front of a judge as quickly as possible to make sure that we can get this food assistance flowing again.
So now, all jokes aside of deporting these people, this is interesting because there's been a lot of contention about the food assistance issue regarding illegal immigrants and non-citizens. All you've heard surrounding this whole SNAP issue was, no. Illegal immigrants cannot be a $68,000 net fiscal drain on the U.S. economy, despite the fact that the House Committee on Budget study in conjunction with the Center for Immigration Studies literally proves and concludes this. That can't be possible because illegal immigrants are actually not eligible for food assistance programs. Non-citizens are actually not eligible for food assistance programs. It's not possible. Evidently, that's not the case, because why is Oregon suing the Trump administration for not allowing non-citizens to receive food benefit programs? Asylum seeker, they use very clever language. Asylum seeker means illegal immigrant who got caught. That's what that means. The overwhelming majority of asylum cases right now are illegal immigrants who got caught. People who were being smuggled in the back of somebody's trunk. The police pulled the trunk and, oh, I'm seeking asylum. No, you're not. You seek asylum at a legal port of entry. You violated 8 U.S. Code 1325 improper entry by alien and are now abusing the asylum process to your own benefit. And that was done constantly under the Joe Biden administration or regime. And now we're dealing with the fallout and consequences of it today. It's coded language. And it's not inconspicuous. It's obvious. We know exactly what they're talking about. Here is a black attorney who says that one of her favorite things to do at work is overcharge white people and undercharge black people, give them pro bono cases. By the way, violation of both the Civil Rights Act and the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause. But go off, Queen.
I love to overcharge white people and organizations and do pro bono work for black orgs. And that's just me being very blunt. I will.
That's you being very racist. Correction.
Give them ridiculous rates, and then I'll have like a nonprofit or a black org or somebody doing some work, and they'll be like, I've only got this much money. And I'm like, keep it. A white person just cut me a check. Let's do this for free.
Sue her. If you're a client of this woman, sue her. She belongs in jail. Or I guess not in jail. This is a civil suit. She belongs giving somebody lots of money. Her money should be your money if you were one of her white clients. All of the checks that the white people were cutting her belongs in your pocket. Back in your pocket. The former Qatari Prime Minister says, allegedly, because this is another video, it's in Arabic, translated, says that journalists are on the Qatari payroll. Oh. Well, apparently that doesn't exist anymore. I was going to use that to lead into this Qatari influencer trip that Laura Loomer is going off about. I actually know some of these people that are on this influencer trip to Qatar. Laura Loomer says, let's read her first tweet a little bit more. Exclusive. Qatar appears to have sponsored a trip of conservative influencers to travel to Qatar for Thanksgiving, the same week that President Trump signed an executive order proposing a 75-day review period to designate the Muslim Brotherhood a foreign designated terrorist organization. Interestingly enough, the conservative influencers are now posting on their social media about how amazing Qatar is, including, who is this? Caitlin Sinclair, Emily Saves America, we know Emily, and Rob Smith. From what I have seen thus far, they are being wined and dined in Qatar at events for Formula One with 5-star accommodations in Doha, Qatar, and they are with others as well. Their travel to Qatar oddly overlap with a Thanksgiving Day Qatar visit to five GOP members in Congress who are currently in Qatar meeting with officials of the Qatari royal family, which funds Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood. The 5 GOP members of Congress who flew to Qatar this Thanksgiving are Laurel Lee, Abe Hamadah, Lance Gooden, Ryan Zink, and Rep Stutzman. Marlon Stutzman. They are being lobbied by the Qataris to oppose designating the Muslim Brotherhood as a foreign Islamic terrorist organization, or that's a question. Are they being lobbied by the Qataris to oppose designating the Muslim Brotherhood as a foreign designated Islamic terrorist organization? Why are they being secretive about their visit? How much were these members of Congress promised or given to skip Thanksgiving to travel all the way to Qatar instead of celebrating Thanksgiving with their families? Why are 5 GOP members in Congress and 5 SUVs full of conservative influencers in Qatar in the same week? Trump announced his administration would be designating the Muslim Brotherhood a foreign designated terrorist organization. Now, I have a pretty nuanced take on this whole thing. I hate Qatar. And I'm going to blow my chance of ever going to Qatar right now. I would go to Qatar as a journalist and record everything. And come home and expose them. Now, I'll never get offered a trip to Qatar. I wouldn't go anyway, actually. Like, I would go if it was safe, but I fear they'd probably kill me if I went to Qatar. Right. Emily, for example, was also in Israel with me. So Emily Saves America, who's one of the people on this trip, was in Israel with me. And we got a lot of the same stuff. A lot of the same stuff that Laura's saying. And I'm not saying that Laura's wrong. I'm not picking a fight here. I'm not going after anybody. A lot of the same stuff was said, like, are you guys getting paid by Qatar? Or sorry, by Israel? This trip was paid for, state-sponsored, whatever. Like, there was a grant involved that helped fund the trip, yes. Like, it wasn't a propaganda tour. We didn't, we weren't guided around the country by Israeli government officials. Now, I don't know if the Qatari trip is operating the same way. I'm not sure. Maybe Emily is going to I hope the purpose is to compare and contrast the difference between Israel and Qatar. I hope that's the purpose. And the observable truth, I'm sure, will be evident. Now, I'm sure Doha is much different than like other parts of Qatar. I'm sure you don't get the full experience. I don't know how much free time they're given. Like when we were in Israel, for example, I was able to basically, all my lunch breaks, I walked around Jerusalem. I went into the Muslim quarter. I interviewed random Muslims. I asked them if they like living in Israel. They're not just random or like, you know, state plants or anything. I mean, these are just random people. I went deep into the Muslim quarter. I went all around Jerusalem. Very safe. I did the same thing in Tel Aviv and Jaffa. I don't know if the Qatari trip is, because I'm not on that trip. So I don't know. I do know there are other people there that aren't telling you that they're there. But I hope that's the purpose of this Qatar trip. I hope there is no chance that they walk away from this and start capitulating to Muslims, the Muslim Brotherhood, Hamas, Gaza, and Qatar. I hope there is zero chance that happens. And I don't think, you know, from what I know about Emily and some of the other people on the trip, you know, I've spent a lot of time with them, and I don't think that's something that would happen. I doubt the Qatari government is paying them, to be honest. Now, the trip, Laura Loomer alleges that it's a state-sponsored trip. That wouldn't surprise me at all. There are lots of countries that have travel programs where they bring influencers or just regular people to their country to experience it and see how it is. Obviously, Israel does that. Qatar probably does it. That wouldn't surprise me even a little bit. Now, the actual payment, like, are they being paid to be in Qatar? And remember, keep in mind, I hate Qatar. I hate Qatar. I doubt Qatar is paying them. There's a chance, but I doubt it. Like, there's also a chance that Qatar, like, offered them money and they turned it down. I doubt they're being paid. Again, people said the same stuff about me when I went to Israel. No, I was not paid by the Israeli government to go to Israel. Stupid. Okay. The first time I went with a Christian religious group and I toured religious sites. The second time I went with a nonprofit. I wasn't paid. So I doubt they're being paid by Qatar. But that's just my 2 cents on that, and on this whole influencer trip to Qatar. Now, this coincides with Laura Logan made a trip to Moscow, and people are alleging that it was state-sponsored. Stealth Medical says, can everyone just stop going on influencer trips, for fuck's sake? This person says, so this just happened. Laura Logan has come back from a visit to Moscow. She was flown in for the Bolshoi, and she appears on RT, which is a Russian state-funded propaganda news website, and she recorded a propaganda quote-unquote interview with Kirill Dmitriev. After returning, she hosted Jim Simpson on her podcast. Simpson was explaining the Golitsyn thesis, which argues that the fall of the Soviet Union was staged deception, and that modern Russia is the continuation of the same Soviet system, which is not true. He was laying this out in detail and making it clear that he believes the Soviet Union structure never actually collapsed, which is obviously not the case. That is the moment when Laura suddenly cut him off and replaced his point with her own narration about spirituality and renewed fundamentally different Russia. Now, this is interesting because I don't think that Laura Logan is a state-sponsored plant, but I also don't think that American, like, renowned journalists should be going on RT, the Russian state-funded propaganda media outlet, and basically endorsing them by appearing on their shows. Now, Laura Logan, if you remember, in the beginning of the show, we talked about this whole thing with the CIA and this Canadar Strike Force thing, and I explained why I think it's bullshit. Laura Logan was the one who posted this, which I do find interesting that she's blaming the CIA, which is exactly what the Soviets would do. And I'm not saying there's any connection there. I'm not saying that Laura Logan is spreading propaganda. I'm not saying that. But it is possible that she was influenced on her trip. Could be the case. Could be the case. So we've talked about William Napier a little bit, who is this guy who started showing up to the Portland ICE facility. By the way, we've got Warriors for Christ in the chat. Make sure to check out my last video, which is an interview with Rich, who is facing a felony offense for heckling a Muslim prayer atop a parking garage at the University of Southern Florida. The police department is trying to charge him with a felony hate crime. He never touched anybody. The Muslims never stopped praying. It wasn't actually disrupted. He just went and basically heckled them. And they actually touched his group. And they're trying to charge him with hate crime. A felony hate crime. So make sure to check out the last video that I have posted. And also check out my Amazon wishlist if you'd like to help elevate and continue my content here on this channel. So William Napier, who is this guy, you guys know TKO Tommy, who is a MAGA influencer streamer out in Portland, who's been showing up to the ICE facility protests and, stirring things up a little bit. There was a guy, Tommy kept getting in fights. Well, people started fighting People started fighting Tommy, and he would, of course, defend himself, being a little hot. So William Napier started showing up to allegedly protect Tommy. I'm almost convinced at this point that Will is a plant that showed up from the beginning specifically to make conservatives look bad in Portland. So Will made a habit of pepper spraying people. I'm headed to Plano, Texas on the 13, Level 3 Gaming. Hey, thank you so much, Texas Cajun, also known as Level 3 Gaming. Will made a habit of pepper spraying people in the most reckless way possible. I mean, he pepper sprayed conservatives that got caught in the crossfire. He pepper sprayed Pam, the old lady. Let's get some Pam emojis in chat. And it was a really bad look, and everybody was kind of talking about how this guy's a liability. And everyone needs to distance themselves from him. He flipped totally. Like last night in his live stream, he was talking about how he's totally left now. He's left-wing. He's the opposite of MAGA. He walks around in a fuck MAGA hat now. He was messaging Patrick, also known as Conspiratard, on Twitter. And I know some of you guys have already heard this story if you tuned into the last live stream. We're just going to briefly touch on it again real quick so I can explain the update in this story. He said this to Conspiratard, also known as Patrick. He said, bro, this is Patrick talking, bro, delete that post on my messages. Please, man, I've been cool with you. I didn't do anything to get exposed like that. I won't be alive much longer anyways. I have a mission planned. Then he said this, you think that stops anything? Lies. I remember you talked to my name weeks ago. Anyway, I'm no longer going to message you. Take a week or two off from Portland ICE. He talked about how he has a mission planned, etc., etc. And then this happened. The other night, he changed his Twitter account to reflect Stephen Paddock, who is, by the way, the Vegas shooter. Deadliest mass shooting in American history. P-Town Patriot, that's William Napier's username. P-Town Patriot 82. Changed his name to Stephen Paddock and his profile picture to Stephen Paddock. Now, there was this blanket that was made, I guess, a veteran made it for Tommy to thank him for everything he does. And they were dropping some stuff off to Will, I guess, before he freaked out and went all crazy. And he took the blanket, which means he'd been planning this ahead of time. He took the blanket that was Tommy's out of the car with him. And last night, he's on his live talking about how he's going to burn the blanket. Okay, and this is something that means a lot to Tommy.
I guess some vet made this for Tommy. I don't know. But I'm probably gonna burn this on live tonight for you guys.
So he says he's gonna burn the blanket. This, of course, infuriates Tommy. He says this is the last straw, honestly. And about 20 minutes later, this is Tommy on his way over to Will's house.
I'm definitely live streaming it.
You just say I'm just here for the blanket.
Knocking on Will's door.
I'm here for my blanket, bro. I'm not leaving until you bring my blanket out here. You don't bring my shit out, I'm calling the cops, bro, right fucking now. Will. Costin's Jeep, bro. You know it's not yours. Give me my fucking shit, Will. Bro, I'm not going nowhere until that blanket is back in my fucking hands. You guys for subscribing.
We found it.
So
and
then
it's sentimental, very much so.
He threatened to burn it. And
He was, yeah, that's why we came, because I didn't want him to burn it, dude.
He was on live stream.
the police end up showing up.
So I completely understand how this blanket is huge sentimental value to this guy, to you guys, okay? We know very well who this person is. We've had many calls with him the past couple weeks, especially him threatening suicide by cop. Okay? We know he has guns in there.
So, the police just said, we've had many calls with this person throughout the past several weeks, especially with him threatening to kill himself. We know he has guns inside the house.
We're not going to push this for a theft 3. Okay? We're going to try and come up with a plan on a later date to try and capture him. I'm going to put out probable cause for his arrest because I'm going to get in contact.
So if in the meantime, he's going to burn it, right?
Well, he's still going to get charged with it.
But I don't care about him getting charged. I want my fucking blanket. I don't want him to burn it.
Okay. I'm just letting you know, we're not going to shoot him over a small theft charge.
Well, you can't knock on the door and say, hey, give me back the blanket.
Well, he hung up on me. He's not answering the phone for me. And with him threatening suicide by cop, we're not going to push him. Okay?
So he said, I'm not going to shoot this. So Will is threatening suicide by cop. They know he has guns in the house. The cop is actually very reasonable. I'm not going to go in there and shoot him over a blanket, basically.
Yeah, I'm really sorry, but you can't just go into someone's house for a blanket. You just can't do that. We need to get a search warrant. So.
Now, normally I would say this is bullshit and they should go in there and get it. However, with him threatening suicide by cop, you're of course not going to risk that one of your cops gets killed or that you have to kill somebody over a blanket like this.
I apologize.
I'm not leaving until I get the blanket.
All right, well, you can stay here if you want, but I'm telling you, you can't go up there and just, we're not going to bust the door to get your blanket.
You can't knock and say, hey.
We try to get your blanket. He doesn't want to give it to you. That's the reason why we're making a report. Okay? Did you get all the information?
Yep.
All right,
I'm going to give him my card.
Thank you.
Contact our records division. Numbers on the back of the card. Okay.
So Will has, at this point, totally flipped. He's, feeding information to Antifa. He's helping them identify conservatives that hang out in what they call Patriot Corner. It's ridiculous. The whole thing is just... It's honestly scary that this guy is, threatening a mass shooting now. And the police are well aware of it. Nothing's been done about it. Now, I understand concerns about suicide by cop and stuff like that. I want to play this TikTok about somebody doing an impression of what an Israeli checkpoint is like. Let's watch this.
Hey! Shalom, מה שלומך? Shalom, מה שלומך? הכל בסדר?
Good.
How are you?
Yeah, very good.
Very good, very good. Where you from, my friend?
From America, in New York.
New York!
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. How was your stay in Israel?
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Having fun?
Yeah.
Everything good?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my friend, I have to see your passport.
Oh yeah, no
Sorry, my friend. Where you headed to right now?
Jaffa,
Jaffa, very...
Very beautiful today, why not?
Hamza Hamid?
Yeah, that's me.
You have a Khawiyah? Where's your Khawiyah? Where's your Khawiyah?
I don't have a Khawiyah. I don't have a Khawiyah. No, nothing. No.
So this is just dumb. The only place that there are checkpoints in Israel is between Israel and independent Palestinian territories that are run by the Palestinian Authority. It's the only place there are checkpoints in Israel, the West Bank. It's the only place. If you're staying in Israel, he said, how was your stay in Israel? He said, oh, it was great. Where are you heading? I'm heading to Jaffa. Okay, there are no checkpoints between Israel and Jaffa. Why? Because Jaffa is a part of Israel. Okay, it's a predominantly Arab neighborhood within Israel. It's a suburb of Tel Aviv. You don't pass through any checkpoints to get there. It's not cordoned off. It's a part of Israel under Israeli control. There are no checkpoints there. This would never happen in the first place. Just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Like, and you'd know these are the people like pretending they know what an Israeli checkpoint is like. The beginning part is, yeah, pretty much what an Israeli checkpoint is. Sometimes they ask for your passport, sometimes they don't. That's pretty much what it's like. And then they tell you to go after they see your passport. There's not this like escalation of crazy force because they realize you have an Arab name. I've traveled with people that have Arab names. It doesn't happen. Okay? Unless you're a terrorist. And of course, these people have no idea what they're talking about. And that's evident because they think that Israel and Jaffa are two different places. They're not. Okay. Here's some like straight up Hamas propaganda on TikTok.
Death to the IDF. It's time to put those hoes in check. Drop a knee on a fucking neck. Snipe those cunts till nothing's left.
That has 2,000 likes.
Death to the IDF.
Death to the IDF.
It's time to put those hoes in check.
It's time to put those hoes in check.
Drop a knee on a fucking neck.
Drop a knee on a fucking neck.
Snipe those cunts till nothing's left.
Snipe those cunts till nothing's left. In a Hamas uniform. In a Hamas uniform. They tell you all the time, no. I support the Palestinians, the civilians, not Hamas. Why does this have 2,000 likes? Here's the comments. Love this, bro. Fox News about to have a field day with this. Now the Cam Higbee show is about to have a field day with this. We got pictures of BBS Satan. Where do I find me one of these? This is tough. W in the chat. I love this. I'd come up and thank you for your service. We got Arabic. How do you even do this in public? When they ask me what's my type, lo and behold, I'm following, bro. Love it. Hell yeah. Love it. Amazing. Overwhelming support. Nobody pushing back. Nobody pushing back on this. 2,000 likes on TikTok. This is how our children get indoctrinated. And they have no media literacy. They don't know how to decipher whether this is cool or not. It's disgusting. Cam, did you see today Will gave the blanket back to Tommy and said he was going to check himself into a hospital on Tuesday? Really? Where'd you see that? It probably happened while we were live then. Hey, thank you, Level 3 Gaming again for the $10 super chat. He gave the blanket back today. Let's check. Let's check Tommy's live. Or Tommy's. Oh, Tommy's live right now.
Deserve what comes their way.
Oh, this was Will talking about killing Tommy if he came to his house.
Hey, whoever comes to my house deserve what comes their way. And I'm ready.
A few moments later.
Will, you're a coward, bro. Give me my fucking shit and we'll leave, bro. I'm not playing with you, Will. Like a little bitch.
He's literally watching Tommy's live as Tommy's outside in his house. Okay. Tommy's live. Let's see. He got the blanket back, I guess. Oh, they're already down in ice. They're already down in ice. Hold on, let me check this out. Let me see. Maybe Will posted it. Oh wait, I have to. Let me check my phone. Will has me blocked because we talked about him on the show, and therefore that means I'm blocked. So I'm gonna check it from a different account. I'll be going live soon. Tommy will be getting the blanket. After my court date, I'll be checking myself into a mental health treatment. I don't need forgiveness. I need prayers. That's what Will said. Wow, that's interesting. Let's see if we can get focus. There we go. Come on. It doesn't really know how to focus on screens. It's kind of annoying. Hello, focus. That's too dim, I guess. This is so annoying. I can't show you on my computer because I'm logged into my account, which I can't do. Anyway, just trust me, that's what it says. Just trust me, that's what it says. Oh, it's focusing on my face. Smart. Oh, there we go. That works. There we go. I doubt it. He just got called out by Tommy. What did he get called out for? That's the docket, by the way, guys. The docket's over. We have made it through all of the things I had on the docket today. The stream is at just about 2 hours, but I can hang out in here with you guys for a little bit. Maybe we'll watch some of Tommy's stream, see what's going on. Hey, thank you for the follow. We're live on Twitch as well, so go check out on Twitch. Follow me there if you prefer Twitch, especially. And yeah, we're gonna watch some of Tommy's live, I guess.
Get this out to me. Constitution and my fathers. They tag it. It's starting to work. It's just on there hella thick.
I'm going to leave this on real quick. Everybody go say hi to Tommy. Tell him that we're watching. And I'm going to go grab a Zin.
The whole world scream and save me. Those tags are part of Portland's image. Sadly, it is. Like, if somebody does, like, a really nice piece, like, on a freeway wall or something like that that looks decent, I mean, it's like an art. Tagging, it can be an art, like, if you're doing it responsibly, but this isn't tagging, this is just being malicious. This isn't, art, it's just being malicious. Chloroform on a rag, I hold it over your mouth. We're the heroes trying to save you from society, stupid. Yeah, it's kind of chilly. Pam does have a beard, but it's just from her last facelift. That dude that plays the Disney music with the other speaker like this one, that's who lives in that van.
All right, chat, I'm back. Hey, thank you for the follow. All right, I actually don't want to get this stream copyrighted, so we'll actually just dip off here, I think. But make sure to check out the Amazon wish list. Again, I want to read these papers, these letters that I got in the packages from the Amazon wish list for this week. Sium, thank you for the gift. We got you, man. You're doing the Lord's work from Sium again. Enjoy your gifts and stay safe fighting for our God-given rights and freedom from Alicia. I got you, man. You're doing the Lord's work from Sium again. And stick around for just a minute after I finish reading these. So I've got something for you. Love the work you're doing. May you be blessed as you save America from Melinda. Enjoy your gift from Sean. Enjoy your gift from BP, our amazing moderator. Thank you, BP. Enjoy your gift. You are greatly appreciated from Sherry. Thank you, Sherry. Trends MT GRL 406. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Ocean organized the exchange and prayed with him. That is amazing. I'm so happy to hear that. 1 second. I just use. Real quick, guys. Check out the Amazon wish list, which is linked in the description below if you'd like to help me get some equipment to elevate and continue my work. But also, join the Discord, linked in the description below. If you join Discord right now, I will give you a shout out live on stream. That will be the last thing that we do today, and then we will turn in. So go join the Discord in the description below. Right Side Rebel, the VC said you need to run a Rust game. Are you going to Amfest? I am going to Amfest. Are you in VC right now? I might hop into VC later. She is in VC. Wow. Maybe we'll play some Rust with the Discord. But join the Discord. I'm gonna go to new members. I gotta go spend some time with my girlfriend in a minute. But I might hop in Discord. Let me just check join and leave so I can give some shout outs here. Or actually, where's the welcome channel? Did the welcome channel go away? Welcome. There we go. All right, we've got some new people here. November 29th. We have got Crocodile. Thank you for joining. Hopeful. Thank you for joining the Discord. Hey, Susan Kent. Thank you for subscribing on YouTube. Rinizami. Thank you for joining the Discord. The link is in the description below. Turn in at 7 p.m. on the West Coast. Well, I don't mean turn in. I just mean end the live. That's what I mean. Hey, Dr. Swank. Thank you for following on Twitch. And Serena, thank you for that super chat. I'll join Discord in a little bit. Oh, here's somebody cleaning graffiti on the walls here. That's nice. Tommy's live is just on Tommy Boy for Trump 42009 on Twitter. All right, guys. Well, with that being said, thank you all for joining. I appreciate you all, and I will see you next time.